Ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly glide up the financial ladder while others are stuck at the bottom, spinning their wheels? It's not because they've got fatter paychecks or some lucky lottery ticket tucked away in their back pocket. Nope. More often than not, it's because they've cracked the code on avoiding the sneaky money traps that most of us fall into without even realizing it. Think about it. What if some of those little, seemingly harmless purchases you make every day are secretly draining your wallet and wrecking your financial future? Are you unknowingly throwing away cash on things that hold you back from building real wealth? Let's dive in and find out. In this video, we'll explore 7 expenses to avoid if you want to become a millionaire. Be ready for a surprise with the last one, as it's likely a way you've been flushing money down the drain for years without even realizing it. Welcome to Blue Chip Mindset, the winning mindset for success. If you enjoy the video or learn something new, please give it a like. 1. New gadgets. Did you know some people will camp outside a store for days just to snag the latest iPhone? Meanwhile, their barely a year old iPhone is tucked in their pocket, probably wondering what it did to deserve such betrayal. Every year, like clockwork, Apple fans set up their little tent cities for a phone that, let's be honest, looks almost identical to last year's model, except for a slightly different number and maybe a camera upgrade that your grandma won't notice on FaceTime. On the surface, it might seem reasonable. After all, who doesn't love shiny new toys? But if you dig deeper, it's not really about the phone. It's about the status, the flex, the look at me, I'm ahead of the curve vibe. And that's where the trap lies. Instead of building real wealth or focusing on substance, some folks pour their cash into pricey gadgets, designer clothes, or flashy cars just to look successful. The problem? This endless cycle of spending keeps you on a financial treadmill, always running, never getting ahead. So what's the secret sauce of future millionaires, you may be wondering? They hit pause on the need for new and now. They save, invest, and find contentment in living below their means. Because here's the truth. True wealth isn't about the latest iPhone. It's about the freedom to choose a life you truly want. 2. Impulse spending. Who hasn't fallen victim to the allure of grabbing just one last thing off the rack next to the checkout counter, right? You know, the candy bar that somehow ends up in your cart, or the cute little gadget you absolutely didn't need but had to have. These sneaky, unplanned buys are masterminds of impulse spending, whispering sweet nothings to your heart while your wallet silently weeps. But here's the kicker. Those seemingly harmless splurges add up fast. According to a Slick Deals survey, the average American shells out about $450 per month on impulse buys. That's $5,400 a year, enough for a solid vacation, a decent savings boost, or a healthy start to an investment portfolio. And the digital age, it's like throwing gasoline on the impulse spending fire. With one-click purchases and deal-of-the-day notifications, it's easier than ever swipe, tap, and regret. But here's where future wealth builders shine. They know the trap and they steer clear. They stick to their budgets like glue, spending intentionally and aligning every dollar with their long-term goals. Because they understand this, every impulse buy today is an opportunity cost for a wealthier tomorrow. 3. Overpriced homes. The house is often seen as the ultimate status symbol, but here's the catch. This mindset has helped fuel the affordability crisis in the housing market. Aspiring homeowners are finding it more challenging than ever to get into the property game, especially with interest rates through the roof. The golden rule used to be that your home should cost no more than 4 times your annual income. But who follows that anymore? These days, many people are buying overpriced homes, primarily driven by keeping up with the Joneses. Let's throw some numbers at you. Over the last 40 years, the average home size has ballooned by 150%, even though household sizes have shrunk by 16% since the 1940s. Bigger homes mean bigger utility bills, higher taxes, and repair costs that can burn a hole in your wallet. Plus, let's not forget the cleaning and maintenance. They take a serious chunk of your time. The future millionaires know better. They opt for modestly sized homes that save them both time and money, leaving more room in their budget and their days to focus on what really matters. Before we move on, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to tap that like button, share it with a friend, and subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you on board. 4. Interest charges. Here's a wild stat. In 2024, Americans spent over $140 billion on credit card interest and fees, enough to buy about half of all Americans a brand new iPhone. Just think, being more intentional with spending could have kept that fortune out of the bank's hands. This highlights the power of financial education in taming credit card chaos. Want to break free? Start by making budgeting your best friend and giving your treat yourself moments of second thought. To minimize the impact of interest charges, avoid high-interest debts, and ensure your credit is in check to get favorable interest rates. Don't hesitate to negotiate interest rates with your creditors. Remember, the financial market is competitive and service providers will go to great lengths to get your business, including offering lower rates. a fact well known and exploited by future millionaires. 5. Income taxes. As Benjamin Franklin famously stated, two absolute certainties in life are death and taxes. We can't do much about the former, but the latter, that's a different story. While paying taxes is inevitable, overpaying them certainly isn't. Some strategies like income tax deferrals allow you to legally delay sending your hard-earned cash to the taxman. So what exactly is a tax deferral? Think of it as a pause button on your tax payments. You still owe the money, but you can keep it in your pocket a little longer. This gives you the opportunity to use that money for investments, debt repayment, or even boosting your savings. It's not some secret club reserved for the ultra-wealthy. It's a tool available to anyone who knows how to use it. Imagine getting a golden ticket to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory and choosing not to go on the tour. That's what it's like when you don't take advantage of tax deferrals. But future millionaires, they see the system for what it is. They understand that it isn't rigged, it just favors those who are willing to dig deeper and grasp its intricacies. They don't let opportunities slip through their fingers. They maximize them, and tax deferrals are a perfect example of this. 6. Dining out. Who doesn't love a good meal at a nice restaurant from time to time, especially when craving something unique? While occasional indulgence in a lavish meal is fine, making it a regular habit can quickly become a significant financial burden. After all, those restaurant prices add up fast. The wealthy know that meals prepared at home often offer healthier, more cost-effective, and just as tasty alternatives. By honing your cooking skills and enjoying meals at home with friends and family, you're not only saving money but also creating valuable memories. Cooking together can be a bonding experience that's just as fulfilling as dining out. Plus, this approach fosters a more sustainable lifestyle, allowing you to enjoy nutritious meals without the hefty price tag. It's all about finding that sweet spot between treating yourself to the occasional night out and practicing wise spending habits. 7. Opportunity cost. Opportunity cost, simply put, is what you give up to get something else. Every time you decide to use money in one way, the opportunity cost is the potential value you could have gotten from that money if you had chosen differently. Here's an example to illustrate. Imagine you make $10,000 and you decide to keep it in a savings account that earns an annual interest rate of 0.5%. At the end of the year, you'll have $10,050. But what if you had invested that same $10,000 into an ETF that tracks the S&P 500, which averages 10% annually? By the end of the year, you would have $11,000. So by choosing to keep your money in a savings account, you missed out on $950. That's the opportunity cost of your decision. Let's look at another example. Suppose you decide to spend $1,000 on a brand new smartphone instead of using that money to pay down debt or invest in the stock market. That phone might feel amazing in the moment, but the opportunity cost here is the interest you're paying on the debt or the potential growth you could have earned by investing that $1,000 in a portfolio that appreciates over time. By choosing instant gratification, you lose out on future financial gains or the savings you could have accrued from lowering your debt. Future millionaires fully understand opportunity cost and use it to guide their decisions. They don't just think about the present moment, they look at the long-term implications of their choices. Instead of spending on things that depreciate, they focus on investing in assets that appreciate over time. In other words, they recognize that every dollar spent today could be worth much more if invested wisely. So they carefully weigh a purchase's short-term pleasure or convenience against the potential long-term gains they could get from investing that money. This mindset sets them apart, turning small decisions today into big rewards in the future. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications.